Yesterday we had started with rash and death caused due to rash and negligent acts. So firstly, I had told you that 299 and 300 are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive. As in, sorry. 299 and 304A are mutually exclusive. As in, if an act is a culpable homicide, it will not be murder. It will not be rash and negligent driving or a rash and negligent act. अगर कोई चीज कल्पेबल होमोसाइड है तो वो रैश एंड नेग्लिजेंट एक्ट नहीं रहेगी, या फिर अगर कोई चीज रैश एंड नेग्लिजेंट एक्ट है दैट वोंट बी अ कल्पेबल होमोसाइड बिकॉज बोथ दीज एस्पेक्ट्स आर म्यूचुअली एक्सक्लूसिव. इन दोनों में से कोई एक ही चीज रहेगी. नाउ एट वन प्लेस these both these sections kind of meet but not exactly. एक जगह पर थोड़ा मिलन होता है बट not exactly, मतलब entirety में नहीं. That place is 299.3. 299.3 which provides for knowledge of causing death. Now, the thing is, when I say that a person has a knowledge, he has a knowledge of a line of action, or he has the knowledge that the victim will fall in this line of action. अगर वो ऐसा करेगा, he has this particular knowledge that some death is going to be caused. So वो knowledge है. There is a certainty of victim coming into line of action. So एक certainty है कि victim आएगा line of action में. While for 304A there is no certainty as such. 304A में क्या है? A person who is actually committing the act, he has a reasonable suspicion. He has a reasonable suspicion. एक reasonable suspicion है कि okay, if I do an act with such a nature, a victim might come in line of action and I might cause someone's death. So a reasonable suspicion है उसके पास, but he does not have a complete knowledge as such. जैसे someone rightly mentioned yesterday that if a person is shooting in the open crowd, that is a case of knowledge. That is a case of knowledge. क्योंकि एक clarity है, एक clear knowledge है कि if I shoot someone in the crowd, कोई ना किसी को तो hurt किसी ना किसी की death cause हो ही सकती है. But on the other hand, if similar example उन्होंने ही दिया था कि if I'm shooting in a wedding और मैं ऊपर fire कर रहा हूँ, now obviously now मैं जब ऊपर fire कर रहा हूँ, so there is a reasonable suspicion कि I might cause someone's death. So ऊपर fire करने के दौरान अगर किसी को लग जाती है, so that will be a case of 304A. Fine. Now again, इसमें भी ज़्यादा parameters आ जाते हैं. Again, whether the gun was licensed and all, that is a different issue, and that is for the different topics to be discussed. And then we went on to understand what exactly rashness means. Rashness means when a person does any act hazardingly dangerous, and it does an hazardous act, and he does it he does that act by being indifferent towards the consequences. उसे परवाह नहीं है क्या consequences होने हैं. He is indifferent towards the consequences. Then that act will be rash. And what is negligent? When there is a duty and it is a case of breach of duty, then it will be a case of negligence. Fine. And then we went on to medical negligence. Medical negligence में we had discussed Jacob Matthews versus State of Punjab, in which I had told you that cylinder wala case, that they weren't able to provide the cylinder to the person and the person actually died. In such cases, the doctors were acquitted, but the court held that you can obviously obtain the fine or compensation from the hospital itself by filing a civil suit. आप civil suit file कर सकते हो hospital के against. Doctors will not be held criminally liable. Now, इसी केस में guidelines were provided that you can't hold doctors liable for every criminal act. You can only hold them liable for acts which are of gross negligence. Fine. You can't hold doctors for every negligent act. You can only hold them liable only for gross negligent acts. So अब इसमें gross negligent acts कौन से हैं? So basically they had provided three facets of gross negligence. First is if a person is killed and he is not performing his act. He's not acting, or he refuses to perform. And the second is if the act is manifestly negligent, on face ही negligent है. And the third is when he's skilled. Sorry. And the third is he's not skilled at all. So in these three are the facets of gross negligence. अगर इन तीनों में से कोई भी चीज है, then it is a case of gross negligence. Now let us move on to the compensation aspect of negligence, medical negligence. Ideally, the compensation aspect is dealt by a civil suit. As in compensation, अगर आपको चाहिए, if you want compensation from the court, then you will obviously have to file a civil suit or a writ for that matter. In certain cases, the court can, admit a writ for on the grounds of violation of your fundamental rights, but not in all cases. Now a case है wherein a civil suit was filed, and this is the case in which highest compensation was granted to the person. Yes, Prashant.
सर इसमें जो थर्ड क्राइटेरिया है ग्रॉस नेग्लिजेंस में, नॉट स्किल्ड एट ऑल, तो सपोज किसी पर्सन के पास एमबीबीएस डिग्री नहीं है बट वो सर्जरी कर रहा है, बट वो स्किल्ड है, वो उसके कभी कोई प्रायर ऐसे एंटीसीडेंट्स आए नहीं और उसके एक्सपर्टीज है, नोन है वो उस एक्सपर्टीज के लिए.
In fact, that is not a case of 304A. That will be a case of 304 part 2 in many cases. Even if he's skilled, he cannot see. He has knowledge that if I perform in such a manner, he has knowledge that he does not have a MBBS degree, and he has knowledge that if I act in such a manner, death may be caused. And ultimately, if death is caused, then he's endangering life by not obtaining the degree, obtaining the degree at all.
So the parameter for skill is MBBS here, basically for surgery at least.
Not exactly. See, MBBS नहीं है. For example, if a person is not a surgeon, उसने MS नहीं की है, and he's still in the surgery ward, and he's assisting the doctor, or he's the one who's performing, who's the main limb of who's performing the main limb of the surgery. In that case, he's not skilled at all. He's not skilled because he does not have the qualification, or he is not skilled if a person does not have sufficient training of surgery. Surgery requires a lot of training.
All right, sir, I got the point.
ठीक है, सिर्फ डिग्री क्वालिफिकेशन भी नहीं, even training also.
All right, sir.
Sir, could you please repeat the three aspects of 304A?
Three aspects of medical negligence, I suppose.
Yes, sir.
The first is that if a person is skilled and he refuses to, perform his duty. Now, see, refusal can be on a valid ground. For instance, a doctor's wife is dying at his home, so he can refuse that. He urgently has to see his wife. But if, for instance, if such a thing happens that his son has a birthday and he has to attend his son's birthday, then that won't be justified. That won't be a justified refusal, and that can fall under 304A. And if the doctor is unskilled and he performs the operation. And third is if the negligence is the act is manifestly negligent. Fine.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Fine. Where was I? Now see. Now we are at this. Now this is a criminal liability. So आपको क्या मिल रहा है यहाँ पे? You are penalizing a person who is committing an act which is negligent. But obviously, what about the compensation? So compensation, you'll have to file a civil suit. But now, in recent years, India hasn't done very good with the compensation aspect in civil suits as well. जैसे एक केस है प्रशांत दानन का Prashant Dhananka versus wait, I had written it somewhere. Just give me a second. Yeah, Prashant Dhananka. Prashant Dhananka versus Nizam Institute of Medical Science, Hyderabad. Medical Science, Hyderabad. Now, this is a 2009 case. Now, this was actually heard by 3 judges bench, and in this case, what happened that there is this fellow. He he went to this Nizam Institution of Medical Science to cure to operate his Beningin uh, tumor, which was in chest. Now, while the doctor was operating this tumor, what did he do? While the surgeon was operating this tumor, what did he do? He damaged his spinal cord. And this fellow was in bed for about 19 years. Okay? He was paralyzed. His lower body was paralyzed and he was in bed for 19 years. Now, what happens? He goes to the court and he's been fighting for this 19 years. And in the year 2009, the court grants him 1 crore of compensation. And that is the highest compensation ever granted in India for medical negligence. Fine. Now, actually, if you analyze it closely, that this is very less, because even if you analyze it internationally, if you compare it with other common law jurisdictions, for instance, let us compare it with UK. In UK, now there is this TV actress by the name of Ashley Leslie Ash. She's a British TV star, and she suffered the same scenario. She was in the same scenario, and she got 5 million pounds. Now look at the difference. And this case was heard in 2008. इतना टाइम भी नहीं हुआ इन दोनों के बीच में इतना डिफरेंस भी नहीं है. सो कंपैरिजन देखिए कि कितना बड़ा कंपैरिजन है, एंड वी आर गिविंग such less amount of compensation. But ये फिर भी ज्यादा था, because earlier what used to happen, the highest compensation granted was 20 lakhs. Prior to this judgment, the highest compensation granted was 20 lakhs, and this compensation was granted to the national TT player, national table tennis player, V. Chandrasekharan. V. Chandrasekharan. Fine. So in fact, this judgment is kind of a reformative in nature, and this reforms the compensation aspect of negligence. Any doubts with regards to 304A?
नो सर. सर वो एक्ट्रेस का नाम क्या था? लेस्ली
Ash. ठीक है. Any doubts with regards to this aspect? ठीक है. एक क्वेश्चन कल पूछा था प्रणव ने. It was
Sir, there is another important case in this.
yes.
It is Kunal Shah versus Amri.
Yeah. Amri case. Absolutely. Amri recent है ये भी 2013 का है, I believe. है ना? Similar compensation, 1 crore or something. Avjeet?
Yes, sir. Above 1 crore.
हाँ, above 1 crore. Amri case. Absolutely. Same. ये 2013 का, I believe.
Yes.
ठीक है. So this judgment was, this paved a way for the courts to rethink their compensation parameters and to grant compensation for the actual wrong that is done. Now, secondly, कल क्या हुआ था? कल 304 जब हम पढ़ रहे थे, तो Pranav had asked me a question, so I thought I misunderstood it. It was regarding the punishment criterion. What did you ask? Can you repeat it again? Hello?
Sir, in this case, the compensation was 6.08 crores.
6.08 crore. Correct. Okay, he's not here. Hello? You there, Pranav? Okay, we'll proceed. And then wait. Okay. His mic is not working. You had asked me a question about 304 regarding the punishment aspect of it. I believe that this is what you meant, and I misunderstood it. You said that why is there 10 years period when there is LI? This is what you meant. See, LI means that the court will have to grant LI, right? It does not mean extend to LI. No, it is not inclusive. As in, it is not inclusive. It means extend. It does not uses the word extend to LI. It says LI or extend to 10 years. यहाँ पर extend to 10 years है ना? Fine. So either the court will grant life imprisonment. No, so the court will either grant life imprisonment if the offense is so heinous, so the court can grant life imprisonment, or if the offense is not very heinous and the court feels that okay, I can give a punishment up to 10 years, then the court will go for 10 years wala part. Yes, it is court's discretion, obviously. ठीक है. Now we are done with 304A. कोई डाउट्स इससे रिलेटेड? हेलो guys?
Yes,
No,
sir, no
sir.
doubt.
नो डाउट. एक क्वेश्चन है आप लोगों से, वेदर इट इज कंपाउंडेबल.
No, sir.
It is not compoundable.
No, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir. इसमें लिखा है 304A में non
It is not
compoundable.
compoundable.
Yes, sir.
Wait, let us see. Do you guys have your CRPC along with you?
Yes, sir.
एक बार चेक कर लेते हैं. वेट. सीआरपीसी में सेक्शन 320 है आपके पास?
Yes, sir. चेक कर.
320 में दिख रहा है कहीं?
नहीं सर, नहीं है.
Yes, it is not compoundable. So भले इसका punishment 2 years है, but it is not compoundable. Fine. Now we are done with 304A. Now see, either we can do hurt or simple hurt, which is the agenda, or we can move on to kidnapping and abduction. I suggest let's move on to kidnapping and abduction. Because major chunk cover हो जाएगा. Hurt and simple hurt में इतना नहीं है. We'll easily cover that out. What do you guys suggest?
ठीक है सर, फिर किडनैपिंग कर लो.
Kidnapping and abduction पे चलो.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है.
Yes.
सर ये जो कॉम्पेंसेशन दिया जाता है 304 के मेडिकल नेग्लिजेंस के लिए, सर ये आईपीसी में दिया जाता है या हमारा जो कंज्यूमर एक्ट है उसमें दिया जाता है?
सिविल सूट.
नहीं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ये जो लैंडमार्क केसेस है, ये जो कॉम्पेंसेशन दिया है, ये किसके रिगार्डिंग दिया है, 304 या कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन में?
Civil suit, or you can file a consumer case against the private hospital. Civil suit
मतलब
file कर सकते हो. हाँ,
कॉम्पेंसेशन कहाँ से, किस बिना पे दिया जा रहा है, 304 या कंज्यूमर पे?
कंज्यूमर, not 304. और
हाँ
जरूरी नहीं है कंज्यूमर हो, सिविल 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 प्रिंसिपल्स पे भी दिया जा सकता है ना.
अच्छा ठीक है.
ठीक है, जरूरी नहीं कंज्यूमर हो. व्हाट इफ दिस इज नॉट अ कंज्यूमर केस, अगर इसने सिविल
हाँ
फाइल किया तो इन दैट केस. ठीक है.
ठीक है. ठीक.
Let us move on to 359 and let us move on to 359 to 362. मेजर चंक हमारा कवर हो जाएगा and we can easily sail through. Let us read 359. Let us start. Kidnapping and abduction. Let us start with kidnapping. Fine. See, kidnapping two types के होते हैं. One kidnapping is outside India. As in you are taking a person, you are taking or enticing him outside India. आप उसे बाहर लेके जा रहे हैं, इंडिया के बाहर. Fine. So this is one aspect of it, and the second aspect is kidnapping from lawful guardianship. आप अब ये this is only for minors. Minors as in a certain particular age limit, not exactly minors, particular age limit. And ये उनके लिए ही ये kidnapping है, lawful guardianship. Now here what you are doing, that the accused person here is actually taking the minor out of the lawful guardianship. वो अपने lawful guardianship से बाहर कर रहा है उनको, minors को. ठीक है. Now let us start with section 359. Are you guys on 359?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Wait a sec. So 359 says that the kidnapping is of two types. One is kidnapping from India and kidnapping from lawful guardianship. So 359 says that, see, kidnapping is of two types. One is kidnapping out of India and the other is kidnapping out of lawful guardianship. And now let us read 360, which provides for kidnapping out of India. ठीक है. Now it says that whoever conveys any person beyond the limits of India without the consent of that person or of some person legally authorized to consent on behalf of that person is said to kidnap that person from India. So firstly, what does convey mean here? That is an important question. Convey here means to take or transport a person. To take a person or to transport a person. And where is he supposed to transport? He's supposed to transport beyond the limits of India. And without his consent. And the third element is without his consent or any person who is authorized to give his consent. Authorized to give his consent. Fine. Now, one thing is clear. What if the consent is obtained through misconception? For instance, do you guys know that there is this fellow, Diler Mehndi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. अभी recent
हाँ,
news है 2-3 साल.
Diler Mehndi was accused, and in fact, he was convicted for this. He had taken money from someone, and he had told him that he will, he will transport him to A country, and he had transported him to a B country. So he had obtained his consent through misconception. Fine. So if the consent is obtained through misconception, then obviously it will also be it will be as good as there is no consent. अगर consent misconception से obtain हुई है तो ये माना जाएगा कि consent है ही नहीं. Fine. So these are the three elements which are very crucial to establish that there is a kidnapping out of India. Fine. एक इंटरेस्टिंग केस है. फॉर इंस्टेंस सच अ थिंग हैपेंस. देयर इज दिस फेलो. ये पाकिस्तान है एंड दिस इज द बॉर्डर एंड ये इंडिया है. एंड देयर इज दिस फेलो who is sleeping on a charpai here. He is sleeping on a charpai in India. चार लोग आते हैं. चार लोग क्या करते हैं, चारपाई उठाते हैं और इस बंदे को फेंक देते हैं पाकिस्तान में. Will it be a case of kidnapping under 360? इंग्रेडिएंट्स सोचो. इंग्रेडिएंट्स फिर से. इंग्रेडिएंट्स, पहला इंग्रेडिएंट क्या है? कन्वे. Are they conveying him to Pakistan? The answer is yes, they are conveying him to Pakistan. Are they conveying him without his consent? The answer to this question is yes, they are conveying him. They are conveying him without his consent. Fine. So ये दोनों ingredients हैं. So what do you think? Will he be charged? Will these guys be charged for kidnapping?
Yes, sir. They
Yes,
are.
sir.
The answer is yes, they will be charged for kidnapping. Fine. अभी ये तो easier kind of kidnapping हुआ, which is out of India. Now let us get to the main aspect, which is kidnapping from lawful guardianship. In fact, the word kidnapping जो है ना वो इस बेसिस पे ही डिराइव हुआ है. लॉफुल गार्डियनशिप से ही डिराइव्ड हुआ, क्योंकि आप बच्चों को यू आर टेकिंग और इंटाइसिंग अ किड. सो दैट इज द रीजन किडनैपिंग करके वर्ड इंसेप्ट हुआ. अब लेट अस सी नाउ उसके इंग्रेडिएंट्स क्या हैं. लेट अस रीड 361. Are you guys on 361?
Yes, sir.
Whoever takes or entices any minor under 16 years of age, if a male, so if he's a male then 16 years of age, or under 18 years of age if a female, so if a female then 18 years of age, or any person of unsound mind out of keeping of the lawful guardian of such minor. Now important है, out of keeping the lawful guardianship of such minor or person of unsound mind without the consent of such guardian. अब यहाँ पर बच्चे की कंसेंट नहीं मांग रहे हैं. They are asking that without the consent of such guardian is set to kidnap such minor or the person from lawful guardianship. Now see, now एक बार explanation पढ़ लो फिर we'll move on. The words lawful guardian in this section include any person lawfully entrusted with the care and custody of such minor or other person. ठीक है. Now अब इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? अब let us break up this section and let us see the ingredients of this section. The first part of this section is takes and entices. Wait. Takes or entices. Now the second part talks about the age. It says that if it is a male, then it will be less than 16, and if it is a female, then it will be less than. Then he or she, she should be less than 18. और फिर तीसरा एस्पेक्ट है out of keeping. So you have to take or entice out of keeping, but किससे out of keeping? Out of keeping of lawful guardianship. And last aspect है without consent. Fine. Now first let us understand what exactly is lawful guardianship, क्योंकि सबसे important term ये है. Now see, they haven't used the word legal guardianship. Now ideally various acts have defined legal guardianship. Guardians and Wards Act हो गया, your Hindu Marriage and Guardianship Act हो गया. Section 6 of the Hindu Marriage Act defines a natural guardian as a father, and father के बाद mother, then mother. and if the lady is a minor and she is married, then husband obviously. अब lawful guardianship में सिर्फ ये लोग आ गए, लीगल गार्डियनशिप में सिर्फ ये लोग आ गए, बट दे आर टॉकिंग नॉट ऑफ लीगल गार्डियनशिप, दे आर टॉकिंग ऑफ लॉफुल गार्डियनशिप. नाउ सी, the concept of lawful guardianship is bigger or is larger than legal guardianship. जो lawful guardianship का concept है वो बड़ा है legal guardianship से. legal guardianship में सिर्फ वो लोग आते हैं जो particular acts में provided हैं. लॉफुल गार्डियनशिप में एक्सटेंडेड गार्डियंस भी आते हैं. ठीक है. फॉर इंस्टेंस, सॉरी वेट, गिव मी अ सेकेंड. एक्सटेंडेड गार्डियंस भी आते हैं. नाउ फॉर इंस्टेंस देयर इज दिस फादर ए, वो अपना बच्चा देता है बी को, एंड बी इज अ सर्वेंट, एंड ही टेल्स हिम दैट ओके, you keep him for 6 days, I will come from USA. Now here B is the extended guardian. Now even if he is not a legal guardian, but he is a lawful guardian. ठीक है. Now for instance, A gives their child to say B or B relative, and babysit करने के लिए बोलते हैं for say 7 days, 8 days, whatever the time it is, till the time they return from their place. Now this is known as lawful. Now B is a lawful guardian. ठीक है. So अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि whether lawful guardianship is objective. Can you actually provide for the list of all the lawful guardians? The answer is no. You cannot provide for the list of all the lawful guardians, because the concept of lawful guardianship is subjective in nature. Case to case it will differ. Case to case extended guardianship किसी और को legal guardian दे देगा. ठीक है. यस प्रशांत.
सर तो लॉफुल गार्डियन जनरली वही होगा जिसको लीगल गार्जियनशिप ड्यूटी वो डेलीगेट करे कुछ टाइम के लिए, या कैसे भी.
हाँ,
तभी होगा या और किसी केस में भी हो सकता है?
नहीं, तभी होगा. इनफैक्ट लॉफुल गार्डियनशिप को हम एक और नाम बोल सकते हैं, उससे बोल सकते हैं इमीडिएट गार्डियन. ही इज द इमीडिएट गार्डियन. फाइन. एंड लीगल गार्डियन तो हमेशा एक ही रहेगा, दैट वोंट चेंज. लीगल गार्डियन हमेशा एक ही रहेगा, बट लॉफुल गार्डियन विल डिफर फ्रॉम केस टू केस. ठीक है.
यस सर.
नाउ सेकेंड एस्पेक्ट है नाउ लॉफुल गार्डियन. यस सार्थक.
सर लॉफुल गार्डियन आगे किसी को लॉफुल गार्डियन बना सकता है? कैन ही पास द टॉपिक?
Can he further delegate? Yes. As long as मतलब the concept of this is जब आउट ऑफ कीपिंग में आऊंगा तब मैं तुम्हें बताऊंगा कि कैसे अ पर्टिकुलर पर्सन इज सेट टू बी. मतलब इस एसेंस क्या है? एसेंस ये है कि लॉफुल गार्डियन के हाथ से अगर कोई बच्चा ले जाता है, जो किड है वो ले जाता है, मतलब जिसको बोलते हैं हम आउट ऑफ कीपिंग, उसके हाथ से कोई बच्चा ले जाता है, देन वी कंसिडर इट अ केस ऑफ किडनैपिंग. ऑब्वियसली विदाउट कंसेंट, और ये भी आना चाहिए, बट द एसेंस इज दिस: लॉफुल गार्डियनशिप देन आउट ऑफ कीपिंग. सो अगर से लॉफुल गार्डियनशिप जैसे सर्वेंट को दिया, और सर्वेंट किसी एक फ्रेंड को बोलता है कि यार ऐसे कर, आई विल जस्ट कम, यू हैंडल दिस किड फॉर से 2 hours. नाउ जो लॉफुल गार्डियन है उसके पास एक कंस्ट्रक्टिव गार्डियनशिप है, एंड जो बच्चा है, जो द पर्सन, हिज फ्रेंड, he has taken the child with his consent. So without his consent नहीं लिया, so with his consent, so he will not be liable for kidnapping.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है. Now one of the
सर
yes अभिजीत.
सर लॉफुल गार्जियन कहीं पे डिफाइन किया गया है इसको?
नहीं नहीं नहीं,
ओके सर.
not in IPC. Fine. Now let us see. But if you have to define it, and if you want to define it, then you can always say that it is something more than the legal guardianship, and it can also include extended guardians as well. So this is a subjective concept, and it can differ from case to case. Yes, Shreya.
So there is no coded act on this matter.
On lawful guardianship?
Yes, any section of any act defining lawful guardianship?
No. You have a definition of legal guardianship, but you don't have of lawful guardianship.
Okay.
Yes, Shreya.
सर तो इसका मतलब लॉफुल गार्जियनशिप से कभी किडनैपिंग, मतलब लॉफुल गार्जियन कभी किडनैप नहीं कर सकता है?
यस, लॉफुल गार्डियन कभी किडनैप नहीं करेगा, बिकॉज उसके पास एक्सटेंडेड अथॉरिटी आ गई है. ही इज इंटरेस्टेड बाय द लीगल गार्डियन. उसके पास एक एक्सटेंडेड अथॉरिटी है टू हैंडल द चाइल्ड और टू हैव द चाइल्ड इन हिज कंट्रोल.
जैसे सर्वेंट वाला केस आपने बताया, तो सर्वेंट भी तो आगे किडनैपिंग कर सकता है.
यस सर्टेनली ऐसा, बट अगेन उसमें सिचुएशन ऐसी होनी चाहिए. फॉर इंस्टेंस जैसे आप बोल रहे हो कि जैसे सर्वेंट को उन्होंने दिया, रखने के लिए दिया उन्होंने, they have given a child to this servant, and now as soon as servant he takes away the child and he loses and he obviously घर पे तो नहीं रखेगा और उसकी अथॉरिटी में तो नहीं रखेगा, लीगल गार्डियन की अथॉरिटी में तो नहीं रहेगा. as soon as he runs away, he will cease to become a lawful guardian himself. ठीक है. So lawful guardian क्यों है? Because he has the immediate authority or the authority of the legal guardian. He's deriving his authority from the legal guardian himself. ठीक है. मतलब आप समझ रहे हैं ना कि जब वो उसके अगेंस्ट ही चला जाएगा तो ऑब्वियसली ही विल सीज टू बिकम अ लॉफुल गार्डियन.
सर तो वो सिर्फ तभी होगा जब वो प्रेमाइसेस छोड़ के कहीं
नहीं, इवन जरूरी नहीं है प्रेमाइसेस, एज इन से यू गिव एन एग्जांपल, लेट अस सी, यू गिव एन एग्जांपल. जैसे घर पे ही रहेगा अगर, और उसने घर पे किडनैपिंग करनी है उसे.
सर ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि जो पेरेंट है, अगर उसने बोल दिया कि सर्वेंट को कि 1 हफ्ते या 2 हफ्ते के लिए, तो
श्रेया आई कांट हियर यू. एक चीज नहीं समझ.
ऐसा सर्वेंट खुद से न्यूज़ फैलवा देता है कि वो कहीं चला गया है, जबकि वो घर पे कहीं रह रहा हो, वो पिट को रख.
सुनाई नहीं दे रहा श्रेया. एक्चुअली वॉइस इज शेकिंग अ लिटिल. The criteria is not the premises. The criteria is not the premises. The criteria is the authority granted to him. If at all he exceeds the authority, then he loses to become say he loses to become a lawful guardian. Fine. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Should I proceed?
Yes, sir.
देख, अब एक important aspect है, whether orphans have lawful guardians. Whether orphans have lawful guardians.
यस सर।
Who?
सर अगर किसी ऑर्फेनेज से एसोसिएटेड है तो वो ऑर्फेनेज ओनर, वरना फिर स्टेट उनका लॉफुल गार्डियन होगा।
Absolutely. State उनका lawful guardian होगा, but what if wait. वेट, ये मैं बाद में कवर करता हूँ। अगर ऑर्फनेज है, वेट, ऑर्फन्स का ऑर्फनेज तो गार्डियन है। फाइन, वेट, ऑर्फन्स का आइडली ऑर्फनेज गार्डियन है एंड स्टेट। व्हाट इफ अगर बोथ ऑफ देम डू नॉट टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, देन can an orphan said to be can the orphans said to be have a lawful guardian, and अगर कोई और उनको किडनैप करता है, will he be held liable for kidnapping?
Sir, won't the court be like the lawful guardian in such cases? So I'm not sure, sir, but drawing an analogy in family law, there is a concept of best interest of the child, wherein the court steps in and looks after the interest of the child and decides as to what decision is to made regard taking into consideration that best interest. So I think that court might step in here.
See, जो वेलफेयर ऑफ चाइल्ड का कॉन्सेप्ट है, दैट इज नॉट विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द गार्डियनशिप एस्पेक्ट, दैट इज विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द कस्टडी। कि अगर माँ बाप के बीच में झगड़ा हो रहा है, सो इट विल बी द कोर्ट विल कंसिडर द वेलफेयर ऑफ चाइल्ड, दैट किसके पास ये बच्चा ठीक रहेगा। दैट इज द एंटायर कॉन्सेप्ट। सी, ideally Prashant is right. State and orphanage are the lawful guardians. If there is no orphanage, obviously the state is the lawful guardian of the orphans. But अब MCQ में जब आएगा ना, जब भी MCQ में आए कि can orphans or a person who has no parents or no legal lawful guardian can kidnapping be committed on him? The answer is no. फाइन, ये आया था पंजाब जुडिशरी में 2018 में, आई बिलीव 18 या 19 में, सॉरी हाँ 18 में। एंड जब ऑर्फन वर्ड यूज किया था तो इवन काफी लोगों ने, माय रूममेट हैड गिवन पंजाब एंड ही हैड क्वालिफाइड, even he filed many objections. Even he supported a high court judgment with in support of this, but they did not accept it, and they said that a person who has no lawful guardian or an orphan is kidnapping cannot be committed on him. ठीक है?
Sir, could you please repeat?
Fine. The question is whether orphan has a lawful guardianship. See, ideally, an orphanage or what do you call this, state. If there is no orphanage, तो state उनका lawful guardian है. Fine. But काफी MCQs आए हैं इस पर. One such MCQ is in Punjab Judicial Services 2018, जिसमें they said that obviously kidnapping के लिए lawful guardian होना जरूरी है. They said that kidnapping cannot be committed on orphans. Now, अब इसमें obviously kidnapping cannot be committed, but abduction can be committed. ठीक है, वो मैं डिफरेंस बताऊंगा abduction और kidnapping की. This is clear?
Sir,
Should we proceed?
also one question, sir. Sir, when we talk about lawful guardian, sir, can artificial person like a state be a valid like law kind of lawful guardian capable of discharging responsibility of a guardian, sir?
Uh, I do not think so. As in, it will be a far-fetched thing. Actually, artificial person like state cannot be. Actually, it will be a far-fetched thing. You're right. It will be a far-fetched thing. Uh, for the purpose of this offense, for the purpose of this offense, it will be a far-fetched thing, because again, in that sense, you will also make corporates and trustees lawful guardians by that logic.
Yes, sir. Exactly, sir.
Yeah. That was the that has been discussed in this. There is this guy, he has written a paper on this rights of orphans, and that has been discussed at length. But yeah, this is one thing, and this is a dilemma. This has not been resolved. Obviously, there is one Bombay High Court judgment on this. It is by Justice Dharamadhikari. I will share it in the next class. I will have to search for it. क्योंकि last year हमने काफी इस पर research की थी, and we had submitted the objection also, but obviously they did not accept it. So the right answer is that kidnapping cannot be committed ultimately.
So if a orphan is kidnapped, it will be called an abduction.
Yeah. You can hold him liable for abduction. You can't hold him liable for kidnapping the person.
So
But
the question
again,
so
Avjeet, a little caution, क्योंकि आगे मैं पढ़ाऊंगा कि abduction per se is not an offense. So you'll have to commit something more than abduction. So abduction has to be coupled with, say, wrongful confinement, or abduction has to be coupled with, say, abduction for ransom, something like that.
no, sir. For this question, we will say that orphan cannot be kidnapped. He can be abducted.
Yeah, obviously it's an MCQ. 4 option hai, so you can't say that it can be kidnapped. But yeah, if you are writing in mains, you can mention all the criterias also. You can mention all the dilemmas also. Ki
And sir,
how it is in conflict.
If both options are given, kidnapping and abduction, which to choose from them?
Obviously, abduction
Abduction.
anytime.
Okay. Thank you.
ठीक है. Now let us move on to consent. Consent is implied or express. Now consent has to be given by the lawful guardian, and obviously if the consent is given, if the consent is expressed or implied, then it is fine. For example, lawful guardian tells this fellow to take this child to a park. Fine. And he takes this child to a park. अब साथ में क्या करता है, वो बाहर जैसे जाता है, वो उसे आइसक्रीम खिला देता है. Now the child insists on eating आइसक्रीम खिला देता है. फिर आगे जब जाता है, बच्चा बोलता है कि ओ मुझे चॉकलेट चाहिए. So this fellow again buys a chocolate. Now obviously he was only consented to making him उसको पार्क घुमाने के लिए सिर्फ कंसेंट दिया था. बट उसने क्या क्या किया, आइसक्रीम खिलाई, चॉकलेट खिलाया. नाउ कंसेंट सिर्फ मेन एक्ट की नहीं होगी. कंसेंट विल बी ऑल्सो ऑफ द इंसिडेंटल एक्ट. फाइन. जैसे इस केस में मेन एक्ट वाज पार्क घुमाना, बट इंसिडेंटली उसने आइसक्रीम खिला दी. सो यू कैन नॉट से ओ आइसक्रीम खिलाने के लिए कंसेंट नहीं है, सो यू हैव टू चार्ज दिस फेलो फॉर अबडक्शन, सॉरी फॉर किडनैपिंग. यू कैन नॉट से दैट, बिकॉज कंसेंट सिर्फ मेन एक्ट की नहीं बल्कि इंसिडेंटल एक्ट की भी होगी. ठीक है. सो इट इज सॉर्ट ऑफ अ फ्लेक्सिबल कॉन्सेप्ट. It is sort of a flexible concept, and the two things that are important is the purpose of taking the child. Why is taking the child? And obviously the place where he is taking is also important. And then only you can establish what will amount to deemed consent. डीम्ड कंसेंट मतलब जो इंसिडेंटल मैटर्स के लिए कंसेंट है, then you can establish that what amounts to deemed consent for incidental matters. Is this clear?
Sir, if the act of the person causes some problem to the child, then will he be held responsible?
Yes, obviously he'll be held responsible.
No, he was given the consent to take the child to the park and to make him enjoy the rides, and but he purchased the ice cream and the child falls sick after eating the ice cream.
No, that
So-
for that he will not be. That is a far-fetched. That is not causa. That is causa sine qua non. No, that is
He
not
was
the.
given the consent to take the child to the park, but after he does something for the welfare of the child, but that causes the child to suffer or in some case, so
He won't be liable.
he won't be liable.
He won't be liable. Fine. So you'll have to see the purpose, the place, and also in certain cases you'll also see the distance. अब उसने बोला कि ओ मुझे आइसक्रीम चाहिए एंड ये मतलब दूसरे स्टेट में गया आइसक्रीम लेने के लिए, दिस डज नॉट मेक सेंस एंड दिस इज नॉट द इंसिडेंटल पर्पस. ठीक है. सो द कंसेंट इज सॉर्ट ऑफ अ फ्लेक्सिबल कॉन्सेप्ट and it will depend on these three aspects. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ रहा है ना कंसेंट किस चीज के लिए है ये कंसेंट?
Yes, sir.
Consent for taking the child. Any doubts with regards to this? इसके बाद थोड़ा और tricky होते जाएगा situation.
Sir, can you please explain deemed consent?
Okay. See, deemed consent, for instance, a person has consented, the lawful guardian has consented a person to do a particular act for a child. जैसे उसको बोला कि घुमाने ले जाओ आप. Now जब घुमाने ले जाता है तो he does certain incidental act which support this main act. जैसे आइसक्रीम खिला दी या कहीं और आगे ले गया थोड़ा, एंड फिर क्या होता है, तो अब कंसेंट तो सिर्फ मेन एक्ट की दी है. सो नाउ दिस बिकम्स अ प्रॉब्लम. वेदर वी विल डीम दिस कंसेंट टू बी अ कंसेंट. द आंसर इज यस. So this incidental acts which he did, we will deem that these were consented by the lawful guardian. अब इसे establish कैसे करोगे कि this is a deemed consent? So you'll obviously have to see the purpose of taking, कि किस लिए लेके जा रहा है. And you will see the place of taking, कहाँ लेके जा रहा है. And third, you will see the ये distance of taking. Distance where he is taking. ठीक है.
So sir, how can we differentiate between flexible and deemed?
This is a flexible concept. Now this is deemed any consent. What I said that overall consent, जो overall consent है ना वो flexible concept है.
Alright,
जो
sir,
incident,
I get confused in that.
हाँ incidental.
I think you are differentiating.
No, I didn't differentiate between both of them. I said that consent overall is a flexible concept, and it also includes certain aspect of incidental nature. So for those aspects, you will deem that consent has been granted. ठीक है. It is not rigid कि हर चीज के लिए ऐसे नहीं कि कोई घुमाने ले जा रहा है कि उसे बताना चाहिए कि ये करो और ये नहीं किया तो you will be held liable for kidnapping. It is not that rigid. Fine. Now let us move on to the most important element, which is out of keeping.